What up, though? Welcome back to the FreeGame Producer Podcast. I'm Brian Onrea. I'm sitting here in the Bandwidth Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, and I got the super producer, the multi-platinum producer, WLPWR, in the building. What up, homeboy?
What it do, man?
Man, we got a great episode today, man. We're going to do something a little bit different today, man.
Yes, sir.
We want to focus on the producer-artist relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you came in the game working with an artist, you know what I'm saying, and you know what it means to work closely with an artist, you know, like do a whole album, just lock in, as opposed to sending in beats. We got a very, very dope producer today, man.
I'm excited about this one, man.
I'm excited too, man. If y'all know the dope artist Tierra Whack, super, super dope artist, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A special producer works with her closely, man. J Melodic, man, in the building. Y'all better check the credits. You know
Yeah.
Straight out of Philly, right?
Yes, sir.
Straight out of Philly, bro.
How you doing today?
I'm good, bro. I'm blessed to be here, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, we definitely was excited, man. Excited about getting you, in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah, man. So, a couple weeks ago, man, I was just kind of online doing something, man. And I ran across this NPR special that I saw him on.
Okay.
And it was this song "Heaven" that I heard, man. And I hadn't heard this record yet. Oh shit, bro! Listen, man. So I'm like, I'm already a big fan of Tierra Whack. So I went and pulled this record up, man, and was just like vibing to it, man. And I just so happened to put it in my story, and I tagged Jay in it. You know what I'm saying? Because we always like, we about the producers, man.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I was more so wanting to just make sure that people knew that this record that was amazing, who produced it, and you shout him out.
For sure.
Man, he hit me right back, man. It was crazy. I was like, oh, don't tell me, man. We finna get a relationship going, man, on something like this. So, thank you, man, for coming out.
Thank you, bro. Like, I really appreciate that producer relationship.
Yeah.
Because you ain't have to do that.
Yeah, man. It's love, bro. Like, I really got put onto it. I put my artist Josh onto the record, and he's, he been through some things where the song actually spoke to him, and it was just like, yo, it's crazy, man. But to have somebody on the show, man, that has the type of artist and producer relationship that I like to dig into. I think this is gonna be a special show, man. So we appreciate you coming. For those that don't know, man, you know what I'm saying, Jay came in from Philly just to do the show. So this is extra special, man. So we're gonna get right into it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, so you're from Philly, man. How did you get into production?
It's kind of crazy how it happened. I was in college. I was probably in my first year, like kind of midway through. I went to a friend's house of mine, and he had a computer had Fruity Loops on it. And mind you, this is one of my closest friends at the time, but he never knew I knew how to play piano and play drums. So I've been playing piano since I was, I want to say 4, drums since I was like 8. Came in the room, and I'm like asking him what is he doing, and he was like, I'm making beats. And I was like, all right, let me see that real quick. So got on the keyboard, just started making like different chords and all that. And he was like, yo, we got to record that.
Yeah.
And so as soon as we recorded, that was my instant moment where I was like, this is exactly what I want to do.
Come on, man. That's fine.
Because I never had an idea. Like I never thought in my mind, like when I was younger, like, oh, I want to make beats. Like it took me until college to realize what I actually wanted to do. I went to college to be a sports manager. Yeah. So when I found out about this, instantly it became my passion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, I think we're fortunate, man, to be in the era of technology where, now we can take a skill set and put it with technology and end up with this crazy shit that we got going on. Because right now, we talk about it a lot on the show where, in my era, growing up, kids were actually, it's funny you say you play piano because now kids are not necessarily instrumentalists like that. Yeah. But, that was the thing. When we were coming up, you either had to learn how to play cello or you had to pick up a horn or learn the keys and stuff like that. But now the new instrument is programming. Yeah. The new instrument is knowing your DAW and knowing how to get around on it and do crazy things with it. Because, with loop manipulation and sound manipulation and sound creation and just being able to play and do all those things with that technology, it's creating such a craziness right now that it's like, sky's the limit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, kind of take it for granted now. Just how easy it is to kind of just pick up a computer or an iPad or something and just start making beats. But it's like people like yourself and myself and just like countless other producers that I grew up. And even when I just got into producing, I started studying. It was like, it took a lot for you to get here. Yeah. But it's also paving a great path for the people that are coming.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true, man. Super, super dope.
So how did you end up meeting Tierra Whack?
I met Tierra through a friend of mine. At that time, I literally didn't know either one of them. His name's Kaneet Sims. Shout out to Kaneet. He's one of Tierra's managers. Okay. So I was working at a studio in I was in a Germantown section of Philadelphia. Okay. Went into the studio one day, and the way that it was sectioned off, it kind of had a wall between the studio I was working in and the one that she was in. Yeah. Her and Kaneet. And so we kind of just took that wall down. Like after a while, we just started like going around the wall, and I was like, "Yo, I got some beats." She was like, "All right, I got something for that," and then we just started kind of going in each other's rooms.
Yeah. Not to interrupt, you were just there, just working, just making beats?
Yeah, I was just there working. Yeah, I was just there working.
That's fire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was just there working. I had other connections and other friends. I don't know if you're an artist by Pink Sweats. Yeah, that's my guy. So we've been making beats together since 2009. Yeah, just producing. He's been singing and stuff like that.
Bro, we're gonna get into this, man. That's fine.
Yeah, so we so we just kind of just started breaking that wall down. Just wanted to make music together.
Yeah, I think that's crazy, man. Like you tend to be attracted to like these really eclectic artists, man. Like, and I guess this is gonna speak to me asking you, would you consider yourself an eclectic creator? Because I mean, we all know Tierra is like really left of center. Yeah. Pink Sweats is left of center to me too, man. Yeah. It's like that's kind of crazy to hear that, you know, you have relationships with both of those people. Yeah. So is that like something you look to, or is that like something you just being different kind of puts you in that kind of space?
I think right place, right time put me in the situations for me to realize how much I wanted to kind of like break the barrier of what was normal. Yeah. And I think it got me to a point where I was like, okay, well, it's eclectic, it's weird, it's hard, it's emotional, and like put all those things together to kind of just make me.
Yeah, I saw something in another, I hate to keep referring to other articles and stuff that I read and saw, but there was one where you guys were kind of talking about how you were making a certain type of beats at one point, and that was it. You guys tore that wall down and was like, look, let's start taking elements and pieces and like doing other things with this. Like, so you might have a trap drum section, but like you went super crazy with the melodies or like that. Is that a new approach? Is that something like you just cultivating now?
Something I figured out over time. From the first time I laid my hands on those keys, when I was like, and I realized that I wanted to produce, I felt for myself that I was overproducing, and the drum part wasn't my thing. Yeah, and I can come up with some chords. I can add 75 horns and strings, and I was doing that. And then I realized, like, at some point, Tierra kind of made me realize, like, less is more. And so I kind of was able to dumb down what I thought I was doing, but I kind of knew I was doing a lot. Yeah. And we just kind of made it to that. But trap drums is what trap music is what I love. Yeah. And what I do love. Yeah. So that was easy for me to make. So when we first met, it was like, I got all these trap drums and kits for you, whatever you want. But it was like, all right, let's take a little bit of that and mix it with something else.
Yeah, I think that's fire, man. Like, there's a sweet spot, man, in producing. Yeah. And I think that with time, that's what we all start to figure out. Once I think the first part of being a producer is you come in the game and you emulate. Mm-hmm. So whoever your favorites are, you just copying them. You know what I'm saying? And then you start to realize that, like, you don't want to copy them, so you want to kind of create your own thing. So you start to find yourself. And then once you get to the point where you're like, okay, well, this is my sound. This is what I want to be doing. And then you get to a point where, like, just like you said, you start to strip it down or you start to build it up, whatever it takes to get that sweet spot. And then once you get to the sweet spot, it's like, all right, now how do I do this every time I make a record now? Because it's like, you know what I mean? So like, it's so many growth stages in producing that, people I don't think people realize we go through. Because, people who are just listening and consuming this, they just like, it's just jamming. They either like it or they don't. They don't know that it really took time to craft something. You know what I mean?
Especially if you want longevity.
Yeah, bro. Come on, talking to it.
Especially if you want longevity, because at the end of the day, you could be left behind if you're not really willing to experiment and figure out things.
Yep.
Now, when was this? You said you met her. Was that like 2012, 2011?
This is like 2012.
Yeah.
It's like 2012, 2013.
That's 10 years ago.
That's
right?
crazy. So now, let's get into that. So the relationship, man. Like, so I came in the game. My artist was Yellow Wolf. You know, so man, it's crazy that we got really similar stories. I met him in the studio, just in a lobby.
Yeah.
I was doing something else and he was doing something else. We met in a lobby, and from there, you know, we kicked off and our relationship went from there. But it was 10 years before we actually got on. Yeah. So it's 10 years of creating, 10 years of taking meetings, failing, you know, people laughing like, what the hell is this? This shit is crazy. Because we, you know, real similar paths in the left of center, kind of crazy. We don't get it type of thing. And then all of a sudden, everybody gets it. Now it makes all the sense in the world.
Absolutely.
But I think what's really interesting to me is, you know, once you find that and sticking with that person and figuring out how to grow together, it just creates, like, for me, it's created well over a decade of success. Yeah. Like I got 50 something, you know, major placements, but like most of them came from doing my man's albums. Yeah. So it's like, and like people look at me all the time. They're like, how did you, I'm like, well, that was what I used to sustain my life. Yeah. So my career was built with an artist. Yeah. And then the other shit came. You know, other placements come because, you know, once you pop it, you pop it. It is what it is. So so what's that like for you, man? Are you really just into cultivating this with Tierra and then, you know, expand out, or like what's your goal here?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Me and Tierra, we've been locked in for such a long time. We've seen just different phases of each other's lives. Yeah. And I think that's built the part where we're at now. Yeah. And I think for myself personally, I think moving forward, that relationship is solid, and that relationship is always going to be there. For me, like you said, like sustaining your life being that way, but also going out and saying like, look, I got some stuff for other people too. I got stuff for the masses. And it's not just one train. You know what I mean? It's not like we can touch on a lot of different things and figure out stuff together too. Yeah.
I think that's coming for you because I know like on the first album, Whack Word, I believe, you have like 1 or 2 tracks on there. Yeah. But now it's like you doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I think she had the 3 EPs. Yeah. You did like 2 of the 3 songs on each of the 3 EPs. So like, and then all her Lucy's I'm seeing that you're doing. So how did you go from, you know, producing a little bit to like producing the bulk of it now?
I think it's repetition and getting that sound that you're looking for. Yeah. With Tierra's team, and Tierra, just the team and Tierra itself, everybody is so creative, and we're always trying to think of like different ways to like capture the audience. Yeah. Right. So I think it's just what's right at that time and trying to figure out which way we want to go and who can really kind of like bring that home. Yeah. You know what I mean? Locking in with, because like there's certain producers you always can go to, like if I need this type of sound, I'm going to him. Yes, right. Or I'm going to her. Like, right. That's just what it is. And I think because we worked so much together, and I think because I'm able to do what I believe is a great job at trying to do different things, I think that's the reason why you probably see me so much.
Yeah. I'm going to say that I think that there's a secret to working with artists too. I think obviously to be a great producer, you have to be a great listener. Because I can't imagine, just from what I enjoyed in y'all's creations, it seems like you guys have to communicate, over communicate what it is you want to get to a certain space. And I in my own experience, I couldn't really do that until I became a better listener to the artist. Like the artist knows what they want, like in some cases, you know what I'm saying? And then in some cases I had to lead the show and be like, listen, that might not be where we should be going. So it's like, you know, I think that's part of the journey, man. As far as, you know, making records and getting things done. Is that like a requirement in your sessions? Is that a requirement, or is it just like free free energy.
We literally have no idea what we're gonna do.
I love it, man.
Yeah. Like just no idea.
Yeah.
We have no game plan. I mean, there's times when when you got to push that button and be like, all right, let's focus on whatever it is. Yeah, let's do that. But for the most part, everything that we've just come up with has just been organic.
Super crazy.
You know what I mean?
I wanted to ask about so something I noticed that you guys do that is really smart in my opinion is this is not always about an album or a project. I noticed that you guys do a lot of sync work together and have found ways to like put records in play that might not necessarily be on a project or something. You know what I mean?
That Madden joint, that 8.
Yeah.
Them drums is hard. That's a hard
That's
joint
great.
right there.
It's one of my favorites, bro.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites.
So is that another team play, or is it just kind of like you guys creating when you got something put on the hard drive? It's like, hey, we're gonna put it to work no matter what happens with it.
Yeah, we literally we don't go with, oh, this will be great for this project, or we're gonna pitch it to this. Then it just happens.
Yeah.
And it's like we're creating these songs so organically where it's like, yo, Tierra, you got a song about food? Yeah, I got some.
Yeah.
You got anything about killing a rabbit? Yeah, I got something for killing a rabbit.
Yo.
Like it's just like, and I'm making that up, but like it's really like, it's like you can just go into all these different crates and pick out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Super crazy.
I think one thing that both of y'all have in common is the versatility. Because I've been with Will for probably almost 10 years now. Yep. I think he's one of the most versatile producers. And just listening, because you can go from that, like the Madden joint, to the Pokemon joint. It's like totally different, but it's all good music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how does your versatility work with her versatility?
It works great because we both are really wanting to push the envelope and trying to figure out what works and what goes together. And sometimes even the beat might be, I'm going in my mind, I'm like, oh, I got something for her. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just see where she go with it.
Yeah.
And she'll go totally left from what I said.
Yeah.
Or like in my mind.
Right.
But it comes out crazy.
Right.
Like going back to Heaven, I didn't think Heaven would be made.
I'm glad it was though.
Yeah, I am too. And that's the crazy part about Heaven is because when I left out the room, so I had like this thing where like I just gotta move around. I get real hype after I make the beat, so like I gotta like get out the room. So I'll go out the room, let her like do her thing.
Yeah.
And when I come back and I'm like, all right, I want to hear it, it's like Heaven was totally different than what I thought. In my mind, I was like, all right, she should go this way. But she went that way, and it was nothing better than what she did.
That's super fire. Yeah, man. Like I like to use the word the juxtaposition.
Yeah.
You know, when you got like your beat is going in one direction, man, and then the artist or the creative goes in the opposite direction, and you just end up with something special. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what that was.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier in an interview about how Tierra made you realize certain things. So to me, that indicates trust is there.
Yeah.
How did you all build that trust with each other from the beginning?
I mean, honestly, I think it was one of those things where it happened organically. It wasn't forced. We weren't put in a room together to say like, you guys need to work together. It came from years of sacrifice, years of displacement. Not really, having places to go after we left the studio, but choosing to sleep in the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's on a beanbag on the floor. I'm on the couch above.
Yeah.
We're there 6 days out of 7.
Come on, man.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We trying to figure out what we gonna eat that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like trying to scrap up. Like, and this is with everybody in the studio too. So it's like we're all a family at this point because we're in a situation where we're very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Bro, that speaks to me, man. We don't see that a lot anymore, man.
Yeah.
You know, the truth is, bro, like cats get these, they get fruity, get FL and make a couple beats.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and some of them get really lucky, catch one. Yeah. And then it's like, that's it. It's
And it's usually in a pack.
It's usually in a pack, man. And it's crazy to me. And this is, of course, we're not hating on that. We're not hating on that because we do feel like that's what some people are doing, and hopefully that's a successful thing. But
and we send packs ourselves too.
Yeah, for sure.
We send packs when we
need
to.
But I do want to speak to the idea of like, that hunger, that desire to have a sound or something that no one else has. That's what comes from sleeping in the studio and not leaving and sticking around for that mix and trying to figure out how to get 3 versions of the same verse type of thing and woo. So I just appreciate that, man, because part of what I hope to encourage with our platform is to just like really build up the business of the producer. Like make this a culture, like make the culture stay alive. Like I don't want it to become, that email, push play, send a pack. I don't want that. I think that it's got its place, and I think it, like all things, there will be success in it, but there's still room for Quincy Jones. There's still room for Dr. Dre. There's still room for J Melodic. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way I look at this, and so I appreciate it when I hear these types of things, man. Super dope, bro.
It's real, man. It's just like that's what we chose to, and sometimes didn't choose to put ourselves in those situations.
Yeah.
But it's the perseverance and the way that it's the thing and the goals that you set for yourself.
Yeah.
We knew that we didn't want to be there long.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to be in that situation. So we kept on working and kept on working and kept on working. And even at times when, you branch off and everybody's kind of like doing their own thing, you got one person over here, one more there, you always find a way to come back together.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it, because we never lost that. You know what I mean? None of us did.
That's good.
Now, as a producer, now I've watched Will for years. I watched him with artists, not just Yellow Wolf, but other artists he's worked with closely. How do you work when the bump in the heads occur, when like disagreements occur and the creative differences
That's
occur?
A good question,
how
bro.
do you navigate through that? Because I've seen him mad certain days. Now he mad. Now we got to like massage the situation and get him back in the studio. Like how does that work?
It works. It works. I think for me, I'm a person where it's like I don't ever want to be the one that messed the vibe up.
Yeah.
So like we can knock out the idea, and this is what any artist like. Let's knock out that idea that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might throw my little tidbits in there because I don't want to be labeled as a beat maker. I'm a producer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to throw my little tidbits out there. Hopefully you catch them. But obviously, they might not work either.
Yeah.
But let's see the process through. But it has been times where, like, it's like we kind of bump, but then we always group back together.
Yeah, I think, I can speak to that. It doesn't last
long.
Right.
Because of the experiences that you go through that makes you more connected.
Yeah.
And it's just like, me and you sitting in here, or me and somebody else sitting in here, and it's like, yo, you should do this, bro. And it's like, what, nigga? I don't even know you, bro.
Right.
Nah, I'm gonna do my thing.
Right. Like, no, I think you hit it on the head with that one, man. I've never been a person to blow a session. I mean, I'm very diplomatic in that way. We like to use the term diplomatic, but I think that it's really a part of the job is, like I said, being able to listen, being able to be take criticism, be constructive with your criticism as well. Yeah. But I'm everybody's sensitive in the art world.
Yeah,
like
even us too, because we're the ones that's creating the music.
Absolutely.
So when artists say, yo, go to the next one.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And we, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, go to the next one. Yeah. It's like,
did you even listen to
my best drink? And it was like, it's like, all right, you kind of humble yourself at that moment too. And I feel like that's the same thing for the artists. It's like, I wasn't really. I mean, you don't want to be that person. But I've definitely, in my mind, like I'm sure that I've said some things at times for anybody that kind of like rubbed them the wrong way. Yeah. But I kind of sense it, and I try to make sure that we just come back and be solid, even if it's the next day.
Let's talk about the whole vibe thing though, because artists definitely work on vibes, right? And like you said, you could break the vibe, and it could be just ruined, right?
Be the vibe breaker.
Yeah.
And as a producer, you producing, so does that include like managing that vibe a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to lose it. So if an artist is telling you, yo, I'm not in that sad mood today, I got to keep it up.
Yep.
Now it's up to me to make sure that for that 12 to 16 to 24 hours that we there, that I'm giving you exactly, regardless of how I feel today.
Yeah, facts.
I might be sad and I might not want to make stuff that's turned, but at the end of the day, like, I got to cater to you because I'm working with you. My music doesn't exist unless you exist.
Yeah,
that's free game right there.
Super dope.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and that's it. My work doesn't exist unless you exist.
All right, now again, I was enjoying the little EPs, man. The rap question mark, R&B question mark, pop question. From a producer standpoint, what was the thinking behind that, and what was your input on that?
The idea behind that was just to show all facets of Tierra. Like I say all the time, like Tierra has so many things that she can do. It's hard to kind of package it up in one.
Yeah.
So why not give you three?
Come on, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, when you see during like the early parts and mid part of the pandemic, Tierra was giving everybody freestyles.
Yeah.
They were going crazy over there.
Yep.
And that's really where she came from. That's where the place where she came from. Like, she was freestyling on the corner. That was her thing. But since she's evolved, she's showing you so much more. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think the idea behind it was really just to give everybody facets and kind of just say, all right, look, you're a Tierra fan. You don't have to necessarily stick with one of these things from Tierra. That's what Whack World showed too. Because Whack World has so many different types of messages and stuff like that on the whole project. It's the rap, pop, and R&B are kind of just like a breakdown of that.
Yeah.
And giving you full songs instead of 1 minute songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that Dolly come about? Was that like a kind of country guitar on there?
Dolly? Yeah. Dolly was like, we actually thought about, we were doing, Tierra likes watching documentaries, so she watched the Dolly Parton documentary.
Come on.
And when she watched Dolly Parton, she hit everybody like, yo, you got to watch this. And so once we watched it, everybody kind of just watched it. We went back in maybe like a day or two later, and it was like, yo, we got to make some bluegrass. Because this is just as our inspiration, right?
I love
that
it,
was
man.
hard, though.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah, that was our inspiration at that time. So it was like, let's get it. And it was another lane that I never had entered, but I wasn't scared to get into it and try to figure it out.
Yeah, and I was listening to the pop one. The pop one to me, like, I know pop is kind of like a because it's to me, hip hop taking over everything pretty much. So even labeling it pop, some of those songs could have been maybe rapping, you know, because it's so hard to define.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How is it, you know, like working with an artist where it's hard to kind of pin her down to one particular thing? Because she could be rapping 1 minute, singing, playing with different melodies.
Honestly, for me, it's just been the way that I've been used to, because we've been working together so long. So it's like, it's not challenging, because I know that whatever I make, I can hear Tierra on it.
Yeah. Bro, it's just y'all brilliant, man. Like, at the end of the day, man, like, what I love about it, number one, is y'all really don't give a fuck. It's like we gonna do what we do, and it's dope. Yeah. Like, who's gonna say something? Like, the beat slap and the old girl is just fire. It is what it is. So I just think that, like, that's what this is all about. I you know, not enough people are bold enough and brave enough to be that no more, bro. Yeah. Like, I get sick of it, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to get on the soapbox today, but, you know, I'm just, you get at a certain point, man, it's like, how much more auto-tune we gonna get? How much more of the same shit are we gonna listen to? Like, it's the same record over and over and over and over again, but then you get something that's fresh and something that's is crazy.
I think people's mentality has changed over the years too. It's like, I can do this type of record because I know this type of record is hot, and I know that the quickest way for me to get hot is for me to do hot records.
Yeah, but ain't that,
as opposed to just being organic, letting it come to you and letting what the people want, you know what I'm saying, come to life.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is.
It's heartbreaking, man, because
you're not giving it a chance for a lot of other things to exist.
Exactly. Like, what used to set us apart was being different and trying to be not like everyone else. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like almost a broken rule. What they used to call it, used to be biting. Yeah. Don't be biting. That's some old school shit, but like, it's so real. But
it's relevant for sure.
Super relevant, man.
Got another question, because again, studying up on you, and I do think a lot of this Will story is kind of similar. So I got another question. I'm gonna be as diplomatic as possible with this question. Oh, man. but this is a good game though, because I saw Will go through this. I'm curious with you. You mentioned Tierra's whole team. You're like a family, the managers and everybody. And I noticed she's on Interscope, if I'm not mistaken, right? Will artist is on Interscope, and how important is it for the family atmosphere to kind of be intact? And do you ever run into issues with, like, the labels don't want to do this, management want to do that, and it might conflict with creatively what you want to do? How does the family aspect help with that all flowing together?
I think it works well as long as you recognize that when you enter this thing, if you've been together as long as we have, you recognize that you're a family, right?
Yeah.
But then you get to a point where you realize, and especially when you get with these labels, it's like, all right, this is business.
Yeah.
And so you have to make sure that you separate the two.
Yep.
And so Interscope has been super supportive of anything that she has wanted to do or that we wanted to do. So it really hasn't been too much of an issue, because creatively, like, we're able to just give them what we want.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's going to always be situations where it's like, we got to think a little bit. Maybe we got to go this way or do something else. But we're able to knock out the ideas so that they don't go.
Right. See, I got a theory for that. I got my own theory.
Let's hear it,
so my theory is this. The labels are actually good for you when you're different. When you're different like Tierra, in my opinion.
Okay.
The only time that I feel like it's usually some bullshit with putting records out and going with this wave is when you're so much like everyone else.
Yeah.
When you got somebody like Tierra and Jay turning in records, like who you comparing this shit to?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you gotta just go with it. Cause you don't know what to do. You don't know. You've never had this before. This is we're bringing you the whole thing. Like, bro, this is now you gotta go to work. Now you gotta do your job. Is basically what this is.
Yeah,
so
you gotta figure out the marketing behind that.
And that's why I think that there needs to be more signings of such differentness now. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that will create that excitement again. That'll create those amazing marketing plans and strategies. Like that 1 minute album thing that y'all did a few years ago. That shit was crazy. The whole shit was crazy.
When I heard the idea, I just thought it was insane.
Oh goddamn! I was just like, bro, see, that's what this is supposed. This is exactly what it's supposed to be.
I thought it was crazy.
And so that's my theory. My theory is be different, so you don't have to. So you can have a good, fruitful experience with a label because they can help you. Like so many, the internet has everybody thinking record labels suck and all kinds of shit. And it's like, there are some real reasons why it's like that, but there's also many, many successful situations where it's not because there was actual business put in place and, movement created and teams built around what an artist is. I can imagine when she comes to work, it's like, hey, everybody has to come to work for this because
for sure.
She's the center of it and it makes sense. So,
yeah.
I'm telling you my theory, man.
Well, I just said diplomatic because I've seen, over the years, sometimes it could be a little conflict and, but I think it's cool when it is that relationship with, let's say, the management and the person at the label, the A&R,
yeah, I think
everybody's on the same page.
My personal experience was the only thing that was somewhat a challenge from a label space is what they consider radio music. Yeah. That's the only issue. It's like when you have somebody who was as different as a Yellow Wolf or like a Tierra, like, since we're just kind of talking about these two particular instances, it's not about good music at that point. It's about what music is going to be able to go on radio and what can we go do such and such with. You know what I mean? So, but I think that's the dilemma that's just been created by so much of the same thing being pushed. Yeah. So that's a problem that's been,
Well, when you look at, so I think I'm jumping back, but when you look at that whole thing, like you said, the same thing. Yeah. There's not a lot of money that's put behind the same thing because you have so many people that are doing the same thing.
That's right.
When you have an artist like, I'm sorry, like when you have an artist like Yellow Wolf and Tierra and like all these other people like that are considered the eyeballs out kind of. Yeah. You have more space to be able to create. And so that requires, honestly, bigger budgets and all that type of stuff that. But when you're spreading those budgets over the course of just the same person almost.
That's
right.
So plug and play.
Yeah, it's like, and the radio stuff, like that's cool, but like you can exist without radio.
Yeah. Yeah, you absolutely can.
Streaming is great, but you can exist without streaming.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Think,
like even when you look at these festivals are catered to bring all types of crowds out. Yeah. And so like it's like, when you have so much of the same thing, that's why when you look at the festivals, even when they go on the span of a weekend, you'll have the same kind of artists, but you'll have them spaced out all 3 days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you can kind of get to a point where it's like, all right, well, if you only come the first day and you miss that, you're gonna get kind of the same thing on the second day and the third day. Yeah. Like I like Tierra and those type of artists because they're able to exist on these festivals because people love them and they'll come out to see them.
That's right, man. Yeah.
That's dope. So from a business standpoint, do you like have a manager? Do you have a team? Like how do you navigate?
Yeah. Me and Tierra share the same manager. My manager's name is Johnny Montina. Shout out to Johnny. He's the best manager in the world.
Shout out to Johnny, man.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny, man. He keeps me pushing, keeps me motivated every day.
Yeah.
Every day to just keep on wanting more, keep on going for more.
So what's next? Like, what you cooking, man? Can you talk about what you got going on, or like, is it
under wraps?
Yeah.
Kind of under wraps, but I mean, we just getting ready for our album.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've really been just locking in, and I mean, you can imagine over the space of like, not even Tierra just doesn't work with me, but even with the other producers she's worked with, imagine how much music has been spanned over this course of time.
Oh yeah, no, I can imagine.
But I mean, everything that we do when we look at the future, we're looking at what we're creating in the future as opposed to like what we've created already.
That's right.
So like we're trying to. So if tomorrow is here and they like, all right, we want you to drop an album. It's like, all right, well next week, let's say. Next week they want to drop an album. We're gonna go in the lab and we're gonna figure it out for the next week. We're not gonna just give you everything that we did already.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We're still gonna try to figure it out every day until we have
fire.
stuff that makes sense.
That's all the way it, bro.
And you mentioned repetition, so it's probably nothing for y'all to go in there and do that because
it's easy, bro. We do 12 to 12s every day. Like when we really locked in, we'll do 12 to 12s.
Yeah,
a month straight.
That's fire,
I'm
man.
talking about like Monday through Sunday, like every day. We ain't leaving.
That's work.
You better get your Uber Eats. You better get your stuff ready because you ain't leaving.
That's fire, man.
Yeah,
that's free game, bro. That needs to be heard, man.
Well, we enjoy you, man. We really do, man.
Yeah,
thank you, bro.
We looking forward to what's to come because we know that you out of here, man. Not just with Tierra, with anybody, because you can work with anybody. I think, man.
I appreciate
you can do anything. I hear the range, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man. Thank you for coming, man. Like this is a special interview to me because number one, you got the drive to get up and go do it. Like I think you see this opportunity as a way to like, expand your brand, tell more people about yourself, which we're glad to do. But you took the step to do it too, which is also says a lot to me because so many people sit back until it's it's whatever. But yeah, man, thank you, bro.
I appreciate you.
This
guys.
is super dope.
Man, I had a great time with y'all. This platform. When we started talking, I looked up the platform and I'm just like, this is something that I like.
Yeah.
And like I've seen the range of people that you've had.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this is something like, and I'm not even thinking about myself at that time. I'm just thinking about producer talking to producer that can help another producer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, I feel like that's what your message is. It's like, I want to talk to you guys and nobody really hears a lot of the side of what we have to say.
Right.
Unless you like the big name guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not there, and maybe I won't ever get there. But
you there, bro.
Sure. I'm gonna always give you me, and I'm gonna always try to push my message along so that somebody can be blessed from it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so, thank you, man.
Well, let everybody know where they can find you, man. Any social media, websites?
Hey, yo, man,
whatever?
follow me on J Melodic Beats on Twitter, J Melodic Beats on Instagram, J Melodic Beats on TikTok.
Yes,
trying to get into it. But yeah, man, Instagram is my thing, so
there
I'm gonna stay there.
Appreciate you, bro. That's dope.
Man.
FreeGame Podcast.
Free gang.